Hey guys, Matt Robinson here, founder of the Professional Investors Guild, and I'm about to take the stage here to speak in the great city of Mobile, Alabama. But before I do that, I want to talk to you guys for just a few seconds about what I call the appreciation myth. Now, when I'm talking about the appreciation myth, I understand that appreciation in and of itself is not a myth. It's something that can be proven, right? It's a statistical fact that the values of homes appreciate and go up over time. What I'm talking about when I say the appreciation myth is basically the myth of the perceived benefit that appreciation gives you, and in many ways it is overblown in the investor's mind, and it causes them to make some serious mistakes in their investing. One of the biggest mistakes that I see investors make, because they're not willing to necessarily put in the time, energy, and effort that it takes to find great deals, right? Because that takes a certain gifting, that takes a talent that you have to build, that takes some patience for you to be able to, they're not just popping up on the MLS everywhere, but because it takes a little bit of digging to find those great deals, oftentimes investors will settle for what I call marginal deals or just okay deals, because they're desperate to do something, they're desperate to get in the business, they're desperate to buy something, they desperately want a rental property because everybody says it's the greatest thing since sliced bread, and that's not what they need to build wealth. And so they oftentimes, while they're looking for real estate, they will find one and it doesn't really meet all of their criteria. It doesn't really have great cash flow. It's not really what you would call a great deal, but they convince themselves to buy it because, oh, it's in such a great area and it's going up like crazy and the appreciation is so good. And so oftentimes they buy what I call marginal deals just because they're so infatuated with this idea of appreciation. Let me give you a quick statistic, and if you're one of my members, you've probably heard this before, but from 1963 until 2008, which is when the most recent data was compiled, but over that 40-some odd year period, the price per square foot, the average price per square foot on a piece of real estate only went up 4.2%. Over that exact same time period, inflation in general went up 4.4%. So we've been so ingrained and programmed this idea that real estate is just the greatest thing since sliced bread, no pun intended, because the truth is bread went up just as much over that 40-year period. Eggs went up just as much. Anything you buy actually went up just as much, if not more, than real estate did. And the fact is that your grandma's house, your parents' house, or whatever the case might be, you're like, man, it's worth 10 times more than they bought it for 30, 40 years ago. But the truth is that everything you buy now costs 10 times more than it did 30 or 40 years ago. So you're no better off just based on appreciation alone for buying real estate. And that's something you got to be cautious of. Now, again, I'm not trying to tell you there's no benefit. Obviously, if you own a lot of things that are going up in value, there's a benefit to that. But understand this one thing. You get appreciation on good deals and bad deals. You get depreciation, right? The tax benefit that you get on owning real estate on good deals and bad deals. You get a tenant living in your property, paying off your property on both good deals and bad deals. So you shouldn't be, settling for a halfway decent deal or an okay deal or an average deal just because it's in a good area and because the appreciation is great. Now listen, if you're a baller and you got millions in your bank account and deep pockets and all that stuff, if you want to take a gamble on an area because you think it's going up in value, go for it. I'm not telling you not to do that. But for those of you that are fairly new in the business, right? You cannot afford, if you have a decrease in the market, a bad tenant who destroys your property, you lose a job, you can't spend appreciation. Now, sometimes you can refinance, but sometimes you can't. And if there's a market downturn, you're not going to be able to get that appreciation out of there. And so you got to make sure when you're analyzing properties that they're great deals from a cash flow standpoint, from an equity standpoint. Don't settle. That's my advice for you today is don't settle for marginal deals just because it's in a great area that's appreciating, because the benefit isn't all that it's cracked up to be. So anyway, thanks so much for joining us for this video. If you're new in the investing game and you want to get a little bit of help from us, we're actually giving away a free course for a limited time. It's available at nomoneydownprofits.com. So head on over right now to nomoneydownprofits.com. You can just enter your email address and we'll shoot you off that course. It's got all kind of great education, great learning opportunities for you to kind of get in the business, get started, and hopefully eventually build up what you need, the war chest you need to go out and start buying some of these great rental properties. But again, again, reminder, don't fall in love with appreciation. Make sure it meets all of your other investing criteria before you pull the trigger. Thanks so much for joining us. Everybody have a great day. We'll see you next time.